Hey, how's it going? I have cards to read for you. Oops, sorry about that. So I hope the light will be better this time. I know it was terrible. I apologize. Oh, here, look at some signs. Whoopsie. Don't go anywhere. Okay. So I pulled two cards, one from the animals, the Wild Unknown Animals Spirit Guide or book. Oh, okay. Guess it's gonna be like that. And the other one that I pulled is from the Shaman's Dream Oracle number 3. So my angles are kind of excuse me, my angles are kind of messed up. And the number 3 card is Benefactor, Grace and Generosity. There. Is that visible? So you can see on there that there are a pair of mice and they're in a toadstool that's like looks like it's been blown backward like an umbrella. And you can also see the roots of the toadstool, but they are not alarmed, the mice. You know, they're not like, oh my god, we're not connected to the earth anymore, we're gonna whatever. They're just all happy and smiling and so cute. And you notice that the mouse with the larger one, which I'm gonna just give him a male gender, and he's wearing a little crown. Okay, my eyes are blurring. I'm not really sure what's. Okay, here we go. Whoa. See, he's got a little crown, and also he's winged. He is a mouse fairy. I'm not really sure. And there is a pink light around them and suffusing them. And that is an indicator of like it's a very lovey-dovey. um, so there's a lot of like imagination going on in this card, and it what is that I'm seeing there? Oh, it's other mushrooms. It made me think of this movie called Rise of the Guardians, because in that movie, well, the Guardians are disappearing because no one believes in them anymore, and the Guardians are uh, are made up mythical characters that actually, when you look into them, a lot of them have a root in reality. So, they are like part of our realm. They're in like a sort of different dimension of it, but they exist in a way. And so if they get together, if they all get together, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Jack Frost and you name it, like all kinds of characters like that, like storybook characters, if they all get together, because they're scattered, you know, they're like sad and they just want to give up because nobody believes in them anymore. And Santa Claus is like getting them all together to help them like feed off each other and get hopeful, but they need everyone. And so not only are they fighting like the human society not having any room for fantasy and make believe anymore, uh, or like wooden toys or Easter eggs or whatever it is. Um, he's in the shower, so I don't know. I'm just gonna let him go. Um, you're a good boy. So, oh, the fireworks have been going off. Is that what's bothering you? You're okay. You're in here with me. Look, I'm not disturbed, so you should just be calm like me. Take your cues from me, sweetie. So, anyway, they're like Santa Claus is like in charge, so he's kind of contending with the lack of interest and disbelief of the human world, which kind of saps them of their power. Because I guess belief feeds imagination, and imagination feeds belief, or something like that. And that's something that they are having a hard time affecting at all, because since they're not believed, they're barely visible, they're barely discernible, they're like ghosts. And they're like, everyone's having a real hard time with it, and they just want to split up and give up, and like, fine, let them have whatever, and we'll just disappear, and they won't have my magic in the world anymore. And Santa Claus doesn't want that to happen, so he finally is like getting everybody back together, and there's one holdout on the mythical guy side, and it's Jack Frost. And he's young, and he can interact with the world still, because he has the mentality of like a teen, and is fascinated by like video games and sneakers and kid stuff, and his appearance is childlike, and he has a naivete about him, because he has some lost time. And it's like he's a kid mentally. I gotta let my cat out. He's not gonna stop meowing, so pause. Okay, as I was saying, Jack Frost is the holdout. And so, because I'm not doing like a review or whatever of this movie, The Rise of the Guardians, I did not pull up any information about it before I started doing this. I'm just going on what I remember. So I forget why he had lost time, but like I was saying, he's got like the mentality of a human teenager, and so I feel like the lost time is something to do with like them just like fast forwarding through a human, or through his like childhood, so they didn't have to try to, I don't know, make a like a whatever he is, what are the frozen things called? Uh, Nature spirits. Well, I can't remember the name of the ice one, but he's one of those. So I feel like they skip through like whatever ice childhood is, because they didn't feel like trying to interpret it into like a human parallel. I mean, I could be totally wrong. um, I do remember they did say what the reason was. Like, I think he was like in some kind of coma. I just don't remember why. But anyway, by spending time with the kids, and see, I'm talking about, I don't want to talk about it like the whole movie. I just want to talk about the fact that they're fading away because humanity doesn't have time for that kind of thinking anymore. It's not just like the technology and all of the negativity that's just in the air, like a nasty spiritual carbon. And You know, if you're breathing nasty spiritual carbon, you're not going to get enough oxygen to your brain to protect yourself properly from whatever's going on outside of you. That the lack of oxygen is not giving you enough think to work, to go through things. So anyway, he, oh shoot, I wasn't going to talk about that more. Well, anyway, the Guardians needed to wake up to some things, and Jack needed to wake up to some things, and it was like in the end, there was some kind of compromise that was brought forward, and the world got to progress, and the Guardians got to come back and exist. So that indicates that some teamwork had to take place. And as far as that, this has to do with us. This kind of thing, it makes some people really mad. Like, even like believing in the Tooth Fairy, or whatever those other things like I was just talking about. Like, you reach a certain, some people, I really feel like maybe it's a family tradition, or it's particular to the person. It doesn't really matter, but some people have no tolerance for that crap, and it's like it can go on for a little while where you're a kid, and at some point, maybe not one visible to all that are affected by it, but that is the point where it just ends, and there may or may not be an explanation. And if you're a kid and you like lose Christmas and the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny when you're young, and all you get is that's the end. There's we're not talking about it anymore. That's the end of it. I mean, think about it. That would be like really harsh on a little kid, especially if they, like maybe the reason it had to end was poverty, and maybe those holidays were like the bright spots in their life, and kids need silly stuff to hang on to, and things that we eventually grow out of or stop taking seriously. So, like in Rise of the Guardians, they just start becoming transparent and unimportant, and you don't hardly remember it anymore. And you're not just losing them, you're losing everything that like the kid that gets everything taken away suddenly. That's also happening to anybody else, if they age themselves out of it, but we need, things from our imagination, like fairy mice going on a ride through mushroom space on an upturned toadstool, and to not feel like you have to wear this adult armor, this coating of and like be locked into it like a candied apple, like or Luke Skywalker in that whatever that gray crap was. It falls on you and you're locked in and you're just stuck for however long. And I mean, I'm talking about us doing that to ourselves, and it's like you can still have all of the serious things, like you really can, and still have things that are amusing and cute and cuddly, and that I mean, what I'm getting at is like it is good for us to take on all of those things I just said, and you don't have to either or, your serious adult life and this other stuff. And I'm not saying you have to be like a full grown adult knocking out your teeth so you can get $5 under your pillow, but I'm saying the spirit of that childhood, like what was so fascinating and joyful about, if you were an Easter Bunny kid, like what was the deal? Go back to that if your life is so cut and dried and boring and uh, routine that you've gotten to a place somehow where you can't even like treat yourself to a little whimsy. I mean, that's what I mean about, or what I was saying earlier. Like you don't want to like just totally forget all of those things. I don't think it's just my opinion, but I just feel like now. So a lot of us that are taking things, I think, overly seriously, like pedantically so, to a fault, need to lighten up. Like laugh at yourself, laugh at the situation. I mean, that's all I'll say about that. So here I will read what the guidebook said for the benefactor card. Benefactor, grace and generosity, gifts, support, mentoring. When the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you're put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts, even if in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in myriad ways. The most beautiful gift the benefactor gives you is the recognition that you are stewarding and sharing abundance on behalf of a higher source, one that is always working through you. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as to others, are intangible, although you will see the results reflected in the material world. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as to others, are tangible, as though you will see the results reflected in the material world. The benefactor reminds you that it's in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity that paradoxically initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold, seemingly without any connection to the initial or to the original act. Dream sharing and carrying into being, and you will be amazed to see this vibrant seed take root and spread. Do it just because, and the benefactor will give you her blessing. So, give me a minute. The other day, like 2 days ago, in a couple of days in a row, there was some mushroom talk, and I'm not sure where I got it, but my belief that the mushrooms are not just like capable of having possibly a global, completely, almost completely uninterrupted network over the earth. And and then I also said that I think that one component of their consciousness that's just a whole, I'm thinking way higher level of vibration than ours, us humans, that they also very easily connect with the universe, cosmos, space, whatever you want to call it. And it's part, so then here's a mushroom on the card. And remember I said the roots, like right in the beginning, were like they have let go of the planet, which, well, anyway, they've let go of the planet. It's kind of funny because they seem like they're pretty out there in like a space type. The background is that's the vibe I'm getting, and I think they're just glowing because they're just so like they're just so happy and content to be with each other, and I almost feel like it's like made them rise up, from the earth. But we're, for me, it's like symbolic of the mushroom space. Another connection to it, and the benefactor for us on the planet. And I feel like this whole thing I'm saying right now has to do with letting go of the earthly matters. Like, we're in a holiday here, so we've had time to, if we're lucky, completely just relinquish our hold on worrying about work or school, or what do I have to take the kids to and do, and whatever the things are that fill your schedule and stress you out. You have an opportunity, if you're fortunate, to take some time, grab some and do like whatever the thing is that just relaxes you, within legal limits, please. And take a moment like for yourself. And what I would say, and what many other readers and spirits have been telling us that are, deliberately paying attention, and then just sort of, putting it out there on the wind and in the various rays coming down and what have you, like whatever means it will access someone. Like, they have to work it like a Jenga and find some opening, and the more willing you are, the better. Or let's just call it unclenched, even if you have no idea, the better to receive all of this kind of thing. So forgot what I was saying. Oh, when you're taking this time, and as much as possible in nature, and I mean, even if that's just as much as going outside, because I grew up where you had to travel to get to, well, that's not entirely true. There was a pretty good park and a pretty good beach. Like, the park I could get to on foot or on my bicycle or whatever, and the ocean was a bus ride away, like really easy. But you still had to like go out of the whole concrete, asphalt, stucco, civilization, man-made structure area to get to the open sand and water, or to this park, which is like a landmark, so they shouldn't be touching it. But it's wooded. I don't know what it looks like today, because it's been, oh my god, decades and decades since I was there last. But it's called Ferndale Park, and I believe it's attached to Griffith Park, which is actually bigger than I think people realize, even that live there, if you don't go there and explore all of the places. But like I said, I don't know if it's been chopped up and sold off. I have no idea what in LA, Hollywood, whatever. Yeah, my area was more LA, the Valley, Santa Monica, a little bit of South Bay, a little bit of Orange County occasionally, but not too much. But the last time I was there, so much was different and gone. That's depressing. And what's depressing is I can't remember a lot of the street names that I lived on. So that's going. I guess my memories are going away with what I remember. Sad, sad face. So, but anyway, oh my god, I can't believe I went off. Okay, so we humans could benefit from spending time in nature, like even if it's as simple as just going outside, uh, from outside of your box that's got wires emitting crap from the walls, and our electrical outlets are just continuously emitting like electricity, just going like a faucet with no tap. Like they just took the thing off, and just all of these things that really actually interfere with our nervous systems, and depending on how we take care of ourselves or what the environment we live in is like, if it's toxic and terrible, or if you take care like with yourself and take care of where you are, all of those things matter. Hi, excuse me, I need to take a drink. But we have a large hand in how we feel, because we're not like somewhere else controlling our bodies like robots. We're in here and we're part of it, just like we're part of the earth and all that stuff, because hello, we're made of it and we feed on it, and we need the water and the air to be as clean as possible. The cleaner the better, to keep us alive and healthy. But I'm not going to go into it, but I think we all know there are a lot of forces that try to prevent that to at least some degree, and probably, if they could get away with it, a far larger degree. And I don't like that. They can't go away. But the earth and all of the air and water and sun and the planets that you can see, and the components that are here on this planet, they came from out there. They all can like change the way we feel, like make us feel better, and rejuvenate us. And I think, my goodness, we've all been through a lot, no matter what we believe. It's just been a time of upheaval, and the weather is good, and I think things are relatively pretty okay for most people. So that's good. That the more people feel better, the better everything and everyone's gonna feel, I think. So I did pull another card. Oh, did you get that? Like, the Earth is the benefactor here, with her grace and generosity, and well, super generous lady, considering her ungrateful, malcontent children. But not all. So the other card I pulled is the Tiger. And that kitty that I just kicked out, when he was a kitten, he has stripes, but he's not like a tiger. He's a tabby, he's a tabby. But when he was little and his head was pretty big, he had a ruff, just like this tiger has on the sides. Don't fall. This white whiskery stuff here. And in this area, he really does have, my cat that was in here meowing has that same kind of face. So that I saw like right away when I got him. I was like, oh my god, he looks like this. Everything is connected. Oh my goodness. So in the background, well, it kind of looks like like a like a green area, like maybe some kind of foresty thing or something green is happening, but it's dark and it's sickly looking. And then this has the fire symbol, and around it it looks like fire. So I mean I guess this animal is, I don't feel like they're like running from a fire like out of fear or anything. Like the fire must be some kind of symbolic uh, vision or look. But she's very determined, and whatever she's doing, she's like totally making me forget about whatever's going on behind her, which I don't know how good of an idea that is, but you don't want to take your eyes off of her because she's beautiful, but then also, personally, having had cats, is when they're looking at you, like that's about to turn into maybe a scary situation. Like, play maybe, right? Maybe they don't want to hurt you. Either one, the tiger or my cat. Well, I don't think my cat ever means to hurt me, but he's got claws, and when he tries to, grab me with his hands the way I grab him with mine, his toenails really get a hold of you and cut you open. And I almost feel like this cat is looking at me like it wants to like bat me around, but that's just me. But it is like looking very intensely as if, you see what's happening behind me? You gotta do some things that I can't do because I don't have thumbs. And you guys want to like shoot me and take my coat, and I want to hide from you. Like, you're kind of making it a bummer to live here. So, like I was saying, we also are a part of the earth aside from being the whatever apex predator. Fall into the ocean with a cut, see how apex you are. But anyway, and that's kind of like, I feel like a lot of the incidents with animals are kind of, or the ones that are scaring people are kind of coming from maybe that angle. Not that they necessarily are like totally feeling that way. I think they would like to just be left to their own devices and not have their water just completely fouled. And they know who's doing it because every time we stick a boat in the water, more foul comes out and gets stuck there. And then we leave, our spores just everywhere, and it's we all know this, right? I don't have to go into it. So she's looking at me like, or looking at us like, come on, everybody has to live here. Like, help me out, because there are other animals that are showing us something by asking for help or showing us that they're helping each other. Like freeing each other from a fishing line or something like that, or helping them get free their face from a can or something because it wasn't properly disposed of, or whatever it was. None of the animals had a factory and made cans of stuff, so they're not stupid. So I feel like it's saying, look, snap out of it. Like, turn off whatever's fuzzing your brain in here, because we know this, and I'm not a cutter. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't have to cut myself to feel. There's plenty going on that I'm feeling, and it's like, yeah, I don't need to injure myself and feel more. I will read you what it says about tiger. Lunar force, ease in darkness, feminine energy. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated, to bring into balance, Tritaka, candle gazing. So, you may have noticed that the tiger has a crescent on its forehead. And it's in the book, it's talking about the tiger being, or the tiger energy being a lunar force. I think there's a full super moon tonight. I'll have to check that. But if that's the case, okay, well, not too bad. I'm going to call it right now, and I got it in before it turned into tomorrow. So, thank you and good night.